Well, what an episode this was. The penultimate episode of the season definitely delivered, and I think it's safe to say that it was the best episode of the entire season so far. With us getting a relatively split runtime across all of the different arcs, including Jack and Elizabeth, something we've not really had this season, and also Donald Whitfield and Banner, it's looking like the season finale could be a big one that may see some of the characters that we've grown to love not make it. So with that, I thought I'd recap, break down, and explain all that there was to take away from this episode. So let's get into it. Here is 1923 episode 7, Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Let's start with the ending, which was focused around the characters that we had the least from in this episode, Spencer and Alex. We saw the both of them arrive in Italy after being rescued by the captain of a vessel in the previous episode. With both Alex and Spencer arriving in Italy, we saw that they were there until the following Thursday, which was when they would then set off on their venture to go back to Montana. With this being the first time that they were in a somewhat normal environment since they met back in the second episode of the show, Spencer's demons that he's managed to push deep within him were starting to resurface. It's starting to look as though the danger that he tends to look for and find himself in is the very thing that allows him to keep a clear mind. We need to remember that he was the one that chose to leave Montana, so when he does eventually go back to the ranch, we could see a completely different side to him, a more troubled version, especially going back to a ranch where his brother will no longer be due to being a victim of Banner's posse. The main moment in this final scene though came from when we saw Alex's former fiancée, who she was supposed to marry at the start of the season, arriving in Italy as well, and he was at the same restaurant that the both of them were in. She ran away from him to go and live a life with Spencer a few months back due to feeling as though she was signing up to a life that she didn't want. And with him now being present, I can't see it being a major disruption for Spencer and Alex, but it will most likely be an awkward inconvenience. I'll be intrigued to see how Spencer interacts with him, as I feel he won't put up with him trying to win her back, especially in his delicate state at the moment. Banner and Whitfield. Within this episode, we got to see Banner and Whitfield for the first time in 2 episodes, and it was extremely satisfying to watch what happened to Banner. He was arrested by the sheriff for the attempted murders and also the counts of murder from him and his posse swarming the Duttons back in the 3rd episode. However, it doesn't look as though he's going to be sent down for it. With Whitfield being fearful of Banner speaking, it looks as though Donald Whitfield is going to be able to get Banner's charges dropped and out of jail. This could be something that proves to be dangerous for the Duttons, as they won't be expecting him to be out, so there could be a battle that takes place in the final episode on the Dutton Ranch. With Whitfield going into his home that he was letting Banner live in and showing his true colours in front of the women, it was a moment that showed just how fearful Whitfield actually is, and that he's a man that uses his power and money to do what he wants. With his vehicle also having the protection on the tyres to be able to withstand the weather conditions, something that we saw most people didn't have who were adopting modern inventions, it showed that he is above the rest and has the amenities and facilities to put up a hard fight, something that I think we always knew was on the cards. We also had it confirmed to us in this episode as well that the livestock ranger that the sheriff hired for the Duttons in the previous episode was actually working for Whitfield, as he approached him after seeing Banner getting arrested. Jake Dutton. Jake didn't have a huge involvement in this episode other than seeing that he was near on back to full health and healed from the injuries that he previously had. We saw that he accompanied the sheriff and watched as Banner was taken away. The main contribution from Jake came when they were sitting around the dinner table and talking politics. We saw that Jacob himself realized that himself and Whitfield were 2 of the same men when it came to the positions that they held within the industry that they worked in. But the issue was, both individuals' motives go against each other, hence why when Jacob said it's only just begun after referring to Banner being arrested and Cara being scared, he knew that the worst is actually yet to come. Banner isn't the main problem or villain for the Duttons and the ranch, it's Donald Whitfield and his plan to smoke them out and acquire the ranch. Jack and Elizabeth. These 2 actually had quite a main focus for the first time in a long while, which to me means that something bad is on the horizon. With Elizabeth saying to Jack how she wanted him to be safe and being worried about him after going to Banner's, and then embracing him when he returned, which was met with Jack saying, "I'd love to see what it's like when I'm gone for a week," it makes me think that something is going to happen to Jack in the season finale. Banner also said how Jack escaped death twice and he won't be doing it for a 3rd time. I think death is on the horizon for the character, and it's going to be a shame if that does happen, as he's a character that does just want the best for the family, and he's really grown on me as the season's gone on. I also think with Elizabeth being pregnant, it will mean that the family tree and line will be able to continue, so realistically, in terms of the show, if he does die, it won't necessarily affect the family tree later on down the line. Teonna, Rainwater and Hank. Now this was definitely one of the most engaging and action-filled sections of the episode. We saw that Hank's son managed to locate Tionna's father, where we saw that he found Tionna's grandmother and saw that she was killed by the authorities. We hadn't seen the priests gaining ground on Teonna in the recent episodes, but we saw that they had this time round. They took Hank's son, where we saw that he was thankfully saved by Tionna's father later on that night, but that wasn't the main issue. With the other priests managing to locate Teonna, we saw that she tried to run away from them but was badly hurt. Hank tried to protect her, but by not ensuring that the priests wouldn't get up, one of the injured ones got up and killed Hank, which was such a sad moment as he did all that he could to protect Teonna, and he did save her in her moment of need. With Tionna's father and Hank's son on the way to get Teonna, I feel we may see them arrive and her not be there. She could have moved on out of fear of being found by more people that were looking for her, which I feel will put her in more danger. I think this will be the final piece of damage that will be done to the family. Tionna's father and Hank's son have a motive for revenge, and I think we will see it being acted out. The father and the sheriff most likely have a lot coming their way, and they don't even realize it yet. I thought this was definitely the best episode of the season. I felt like they were going to set up an epic season finale, and they've definitely done that. I believe we'll see Spencer return home during the season finale, and it's a moment that I can't wait to see happen. This story most definitely won't be concluding in the finale. I think this will continue long into season 2, as it feels like we're only just scratching the surface of what this show can offer. This has been far better than the 5th season of Yellowstone, and it's provided everything and more than I thought we were going to get with the prequel. I think the end of Jack is definitely on the cards, and it's going to be an extremely sad moment to watch unfold. I think it's either going to come at the hands of Banner or the livestock ranger that he was suspicious of that is working for Whitfield. I also think Banner only has one episode left within him too, as Whitfield will either take action to prevent him from talking, or the Duttons will get the revenge that they always wanted to get. I'm looking forward to watching the season finale unfold. It's going to be a good one for sure. So, there you have it. 1923 Episode 7 Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, Theories and Predictions and Character Breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of this episode? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.